Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Frank Rose, Ohio Secretary of State, and for today's purpose, Chairman of the Ohio Ballot Board. I call this meeting the Ballot Board to order. Sarah Huffman is our Deputy Chief Legal Counsel for Elections. She will serve as the Secretary of the Ballot Board today. A court reporter is here who will transcribe a record of these proceedings, and the Ohio Channel, of course, is streaming the meeting live on the website, where it will also be archived for Ohioans to view. To determine whether a quorum of the Ballot Board is present, I ask the Secretary of the Ballot Board to call the roll. Sarah, please go ahead and do so.
Senator Marra.
Here.
Representative Bob Church.
Present.
Senator Governor. Here. Secretary LaRose.
Here.
Mr. Schrader.
Here.
Let the record reflect that all members are present. Today, the Ballot Board must examine another citizen-initiated constitutional amendment. This one is entitled to abolish taxes on real property and prohibit any future taxes on real property. As stated by the petitioners, that's the title that they have chosen. On May 9th, 2025, the Attorney General certified the title and summary of the amendment. The board must determine whether it contains only one proposed amendment to the Ohio Constitution. If the Ballot Board determines that the proposal contains more than one proposed amendment, it would then be our duty to divide the proposal into separate amendments and certify each one back to the AG. Petitioners at that time would need to submit to the Attorney General summaries of each separate ballot petition proposal. The text and summary of the proposed amendment was provided to all members of the Ballot Board in advance of the meeting, and copies are in your folders. Extra copies are available to the public on the front table. At this time, we will move into public comment. If anyone wishes to address the Ballot Board regarding the amendment, again, please make sure that you have signed in. When you're called to speak, please identify yourself and any organization that you represent. As is always the case with these Ballot Board meetings, I want to remind you that we're not here to debate the merits of this. You may have strong feelings for it or strong feelings against it. That's for another day. That's for the public campaigns. Today, we're only here to talk about whether this is one issue for the Ohio Constitution or multiple. And so I would ask you to constrain your remarks to simply that, whether you think this should be split into multiple pieces or whether you think it should be one issue for the Ohio Constitution. At this time, we've got two witnesses signed in to testify. The first one is John Marra. Mr. Marra is with the committee representing the petitioners. He is for the amendment, and I would ask Mr. Marra to please come up and tell us whether you think it should be split into multiple pieces or kept as one. Mr. Marra.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary, members of the Ballot Board. My name is John Marra. I'm the mayor of the village of Timberlake in Lake County. A concerned citizen and senior citizen, I come before you today as a member of the committee representing the petitioners of the proposed constitutional amendment titled Abolishment of Taxes on Real Property. We specifically request that this board determine that the proposed constitutional amendment contains only one constitutional amendment as required by Ohio Revised Code section 3505.062. This proposed constitutional amendment presents one clear, unified objective: to eliminate the taxation of real property in Ohio. Every provision within the constitutional amendment directly supports that singular goal. There are no unrelated subjects, no multiple issues, and no extraneous provisions. The amendment is focused, concise, and legally sound. As a mayor, I understand firsthand how government funding works. This amendment does not dismantle local government. It simply calls for an end to a method of taxation that many believe is unfair, especially to seniors and those on fixed incomes. As a man of faith, I'm also guided by a principle found in Psalm 24:1. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and that they dwell in therein. The land belongs to God, and families are called to steward it, not perpetually rented from the government. Property taxes undermines true ownership. When people can lose their homes over unpaid taxes, even after their mortgage is paid off, that is not freedom. It is a form of government control. The Attorney General has already certified that the title and summary are fair and truthful statements of the proposed constitutional amendment. The only matter before this board today is whether the proposed constitutional amendment contains only one constitutional amendment. It clearly does. On behalf of myself, my community, and countless citizens across the great state of Ohio who are burdened by the current system, I I respectfully ask you to approve the proposed constitutional amendment for the next phase of the process to allow people of Ohio to decide. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mayor, and appreciate you making the trip to the State House today. Tell us, where is your community? Where in the state?
We are just east of Cleveland.
Oh, wow. Good. Well, lifelong Northeast Ohio and myself, I appreciate that 2+ hour drive that you made down here.
Yeah, it is.
Questions for the witness? All right, seeing none, thank you, Mayor. Do appreciate it.
Very much.
Next up is Brian Massie, also with the committee representing the petitioners, and he is here to testify and is for the amendment. Mr. Massie, welcome to the committee.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Brian Massie. I live in Concord Township, which is in Lake County, and Lake County is well represented here in this hall today. I do have a couple questions. You'll tell me if they're appropriate or not, but we cannot find the answer to the questions. We understand that the board will send the ruling to the Attorney General. As we understand it, the Attorney General will then put a package together that will be sent to us that will allow us to collect signatures. We are wondering if in that package from the Attorney General, will there be actual part petitions, the form itself, that we may use in collection of the 20,000 signatures?
So, Mr. Massie, let me, let's pull aside after, and I and a member of my team will talk through the remainder of the process. Obviously, we're well with the person on this, because the Secretary of State's office runs that process. And so we'll talk to you about how that process works going forward, and I appreciate that this is a grassroots organization that is trying to do this work. So we'll let you know what the law says about the process, as well as the timelines, and standards, and that kind of thing. So we'll have a little pull aside with that.
And the Lord said would be very helpful.
Yeah.
I'll save my second question for that meeting after our meeting. Thank you very much.
Do you have an opinion about whether it should be split into multiple pieces or?
It's definitely, it seems very obvious to me that it is one issue.
Okay, questions from Mr. Massie? All right, seeing none, thank you, sir. Any further witnesses to come before the committee? All right, seeing none, at this time, I move that the initiative petition contains one proposed constitutional amendment. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Gavarone. Is there discussion? Seeing none, again, the motion on the table is that this is one issue for the Ohio Constitution. I moved it. It's been seconded by Senator Gavarone. Sarah, please call the roll.
Senator Filmora.
Yes.
Representative Butchert.
Yes.
Senator Gavarone. Yes. Secretary LaRose.
Yes.
Mr. Sheridan.
Yes.
By a unanimous vote, the motion is approved, and the ballot board has approved this as one issue for the Ohio Constitution. Before we adjourn, just I guess a moment of chairman's privilege on this. This brings to mind the fact that we are meeting for the second time this month, or within the last month, a warning that I had a few years ago that we are going to see a real uptick, I believe, in people attempting to legislate by constitutional amendment. I'm one that is of the opinion that that's not a great way to govern the state, and that legislation should be done by the legislature. But I think that's something to be discussed in this bill going forward. My personal opinion on that. There is no further business to come before the ballot board, and so we are adjourned.